we're going to pretend as if you're the host?
No, we don't have to pretend anything. You can still be the host. Now we're back. We're back on the Jeffrey Tucker Show on the Lions of Liberty Podcast Network.
Let me just say,
who's your guest today, Jeffrey?
my guest today is me. But really,
as it is every week,
I admire everything you've done too, and I appreciate that I've been on the show several times, and I'm glad to be back on.
Very
so
cool.
Thank you.
How many PorcFests have you been to? I know you were here last year. Is this a regular stop for you?
6. And can I just tell you very quick?
6?
Yeah. So here's what happens to me when I arrive at PorcFest. And I speak all over the world. Big events, blah, 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 blah. I'm always a little bit anxious and oh my God, what I'm going to... When I arrive at PorcFest, I feel my spirit settle and my heart relax, and I know that I'm among friends. And we're all here equal, and we're all just human beings who love human freedom and trying to figure it out. And that's what I love about this guy. I get so intellectually inspired from this event. I'm always really happy during the week. Yeah.
Sorry, my producer is intervening here.
What?
You got the mic over there, asshole. You don't need to listen to me. I'm just talking to the
It's all part of the fun. It's all part of the fun of PorcFest.
I look forward to seeing drunk Jeffrey Tucker tomorrow at Waffles in the morning.
You think I'm not?
You can see him right now.
now?
What's tomorrow? What do you mean?
Hungover drunk guy.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I've already decided that Jeffrey and Jason David are going to team up for the beer pong tournament.
I like this idea.
I like this idea too. I only recently learned what beer pong is. I've never actually played it.
Last year watching us.
Yeah, that was an educational experience. The kind of
I'm
things
still
you learn
waiting
at
for your
PorcFest.
forthcoming
That's my
article.
point. You come here and learn things. That's the idea.
After this weekend, I expect the Jeffrey Tucker article, Beer Pong is Liberty. I want this to happen. I feel like you can make it work.
I need to understand the history and meaning of this sport.
I'm glad you call this sport, respectfully.
I'm very respectful of it. It's a big commercialized game now because you can buy beer pong tables that float in swimming pools. You probably don't know this.
They sell them with pre-filled cups in
there.
there.
Yeah, maybe you don't know. I know about beer pong tables.
I know a thing or two. What are you doing? Any panels this week? I'm sure. I think you gave a speech Wednesday night.
I gave
what
a
are you doing
weepy,
here?
emotional talk yesterday. It was actually devastating because, I'm a happy guy, right? I'm like, oh, Liberty's great or whatever.
I've never heard that about
and
you.
People
But
always
okay.
say,
I'll take your word for it.
He's always saying happy things. Well, of course, they assigned me the talk on reflecting on the meaning of our heroes who are in jail. And who have otherwise been in trouble with the law. Julian Assange and Ross Ulbricht, Edward Snowden, who's in exile, and Chelsea Manning is facing no end to legal difficulties. And so I had to they gave me a full hour on this topic. And so I talked about the metaphysics of humanness and what it means to be detached from all the people you love and be surrounded only by your captors, and how that causes you to look within yourself deeply to figure out what is the source of your humanity. Who am I? What do I believe in? We all become Viktor Frankl when we're arrested, basically. And the spiritual connection that exists between us, who are sort of free, at least we think we are, and the unlucky among us who are not. And how we can reach them and support them and our moral obligation to do so. So I talked about this for a full hour, and I was so touched because people were crying. It was very nice. I was crying. Everybody was crying. And then this great man came up to me afterwards, and he said, look, I was in jail for 18 years, and your talk meant the world to me. And I said, thanks so much. He goes, can I give you a hug? I said, sure. So he hugged me, and man, that was a big hug. I mean, it was like, oof, and he patted me on the back.
That was a jail in 18 years hug right there.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow, that was really meaningful. But anyway, so that was my talk yesterday. I was really, I resisted giving the talk, but, sometimes I've learned that it's important to be challenged and do the thing you don't really want to do.
Did you resist because you thought it wasn't necessarily your wheelhouse?
Yeah, it's like I don't want to be making everybody sad all the time, That's not what I do.
I'm the happy guy.
I'm supposed to be the happy guy, the burden perfectionist guy, but this is a reality we have to deal with, that there's a lot of suffering in our midst. And so I was really glad, in the end, I was happy to talk about it. And I tell you, when I got in front of the microphone, I had no idea what I was going to say for the full hour.
That's the best way to do it.
But I let it
I hosted a
go.
panel this morning, same strategy.
Yeah,
no clue what I'm saying.
You just it's more authentic, that way. And then a little bit I'm talking about crypto, and we're gonna talk about crypto. I hope it's not going to be the repetition of the toxic crypto world on Twitter, which is
well, no libertarians ever talk about it is the good thing. So it's always new content. You are very passionate about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. general, what if you could just sum up to someone, if you ran into somebody who had never heard of cryptocurrency before, wasn't a libertarian, maybe just a random person in an elevator, which you don't find here at PorcFest, but what would you tell to like a layman about why they should be interested in something like cryptocurrency?
Because national currency is going down. We're at the ending stages of the age of monopoly nation-state money. That the cat's out of the bag. We've already invented something new, and it's much better. And I would give it 5 years, honestly. I mean, I'm serious about that.
You mean 5 years until like it's universally accepted, or 5 years until the dollar collapses?
Until the dollar is no longer the world reserve currency. It's a serious matter.
And once that happens, it's kind of all downhill for fiat in general.
I think that's right, and it's downhill for the American empire, which is both good and bad. Like, we've had a good run of it.
Less death, good.
Yeah.
Economic collapse, not as nice.
You summed it up. And I can actually demonstrate this empirically. This is not just like my fantasy. This is actually happening. The dollar's teetering as the international world reserve currency. And ironically, it's Trump that's killing it. So... And actually, even more ironically,
the tariff stuff, is that what
we've
relinquished
the obligation to support the world trading system, and you can't do that if you're going to be the world reserve currency. Those go together. With great power comes great responsibility, and we're like, yeah.
Peter Parker, 1967 or
right. And so we're like, yeah, give us that power, but we don't want the responsibility. It doesn't work, and so that's going down. And then we've also got Facebook leaning in with its own stablecoin. And it's a global stablecoin. And the New York Times was absolutely hilarious this morning. Because, we pay attention to these things, but like the mainstream doesn't. They're like, oh, Bitcoin, that's weird. Oh, ha ha. But now that Zuckerberg's all in.
What's cryptocurrency now?
Yeah.
Now we're interested.
So the New York Times ran an article this morning, and then they're like, no, don't you understand? Maybe you don't understand. Currency and finance, that's the job of the nation state. Like, that's for democratic institutions to approve or disapprove. Our regulators, they're voted in by us.
So you know that they're on our side, since we clicked the box and the thing.
It was a straight-up state theory of money and a sense
shocking for the New York Times. You would never see that
just a
coming.
sense of panic. Like, you can't just make your own. What are you thinking? You think you can make your own currency? Nobody's allowed to do that
unless they have government at the end of their name.
But it's funny because Facebook is a global company, right? And they're like, oh, it's
you could argue they're more powerful than some governments. Probably more powerful than
in
like
a strange
the Bolivian
way.
government.
Even though you and I daily regret the presence of the total state in our lives, it's going down. It's going down in a long-term sense. Like, they're losing power. Private markets are taking over the world. Sometimes fascistically and sometimes not always in the way we like, but we're living through this transitional stage. 20th century was the age of the total state. 21st century is going to be the age of the collapse of the total state. What comes next? We don't entirely know. But I don't think it's going to be the nation state that controls it.
What do you think about, in many ways, the opposite of the nation state, the strategy of the Free State Project, kind of building these very local communities of like-minded people coming together, trying to affect the community around them in a more direct way?
Yeah, what means a lot to me about PorcFest is its authenticity. I mean, there's nobody here who came to PorcFest and said, yeah, I'm going to get rich. I got to come. I got to come to PorcFest and make a lot of money. No, it doesn't happen like that. There's not a single person here who's not here out of one reason only, and that's love. Love for liberty and wanting to be around their friends and family. I mean, and when I say family, I mean even strangers. Like, I can walk up to anybody here and say, it's great to be here, and they're going to say, it's great to have you here. And I feel like these are my compatriots,
Sure. Well, it's a great way to wrap things up, Jeffrey. It's been a pleasure, and I'll be seeing you around all week.
Yeah.
Take care.